Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Once again, I just want to introduce myself. I am Parker. I'm a solutions engineer here at MediaValet, and I'm joined by Marcus from PageProof. Marcus, I'll give you a moment just to introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. Yes, so I'm Marcus. I'm the CTO and co-founder of PageProof. So I'm really excited to be here and go through the MediaValet Proofing.
Awesome. Thank you, Marcus. So today we're excited to share with you MediaValet Proofing powered by PageProof. MediaValet Proofing streamlines the review and approval process for your digital assets from directly within the DAM. So we'll start by discussing the common challenges of asset review workflows. I saw a big one for streamlining, so that is a theme today. And we're also going to talk about how this feature solves those common challenges. So sit back, relax, and let us prove to you that this feature will save you time and remove headaches from your asset approval process. Okay, so let's get into the challenges. I'm going to share 4 common challenges in reviews and approvals. So I'll start with the first one, range of media types. So you're probably familiar if you're working in a team with working with various different formats that you're reviewing. So these assets could be documents, images, videos, and even more. So managing and reviewing multiple media types can lead to confusion and inconsistencies. Maybe you're in different tools, maybe just using the different functionality of the different media types can be confusing. And ultimately, the impact of this challenge is that it slows down the approval process as teams must switch between tools and formats. So the second challenge of 4 here is scattered feedback. Without a central tool available to give and receive your feedback, feedback inevitably comes in different channels, such as emails, maybe instant messages, Slack, Teams, that sort of thing, in-app comments, maybe in the tool that you're producing the media in itself, or even meetings. And ultimately, the impact of this scattered feedback is that it makes feedback difficult to consolidate. So it's likely that valuable insights could be overlooked or even worse, lost altogether. And this could lead to misalignment or repeated versions. The third challenge I want to share here is inefficient collaboration. So, collaboration across teams and departments can be hindered by the lack of a centralized tool for discussions and reviews. This means that manual work collecting feedback is required from various sources, weeding out repeated feedback, and someone's going to have to manually track what stage your review for an asset is in. So ultimately, the impact of this inefficient collaboration and lots of manual work creates delays in your approval process, and it ultimately increases time to those finalized assets. Okay, so the last challenge I want to share here, and probably the biggest one, is version control. So when you're tracking changes and managing multiple versions of an asset, this can be cumbersome without a centralized tool. As the number of reviewers and approval cycles increase, the problem of tracking what version is the correct version to apply the feedback to, or what is approved, or so on, that problem grows exponentially. So the impact here at best means that this extra unnecessary work is required to make sure that the reviewer feedback is being applied and to the correct version. But at worst, this kind of confusion could actually lead to errors and inconsistencies in your final product. Okay, so that's enough doom and gloom. We've talked about 4 common challenges. Well, how are we going to solve them? So that's why we're here today, to talk about MediaValet proofing. In response to these challenges, MediaValet and PageProof have joined together to release MediaValet proofing to take care of this review and approval process from directly within the DAM. If you don't know who we are, MediaValet is a leading digital asset management platform that centralizes and organizes your digital content, ensuring that teams have instant access to the latest assets. And PageProof is a powerful online proofing software with tools that make the review and approval of creative work, no matter the file type, feel effortless. MediaValet Proofing streamlines the review process with real-time commenting, markup tools, and seamless collaboration all in one place. This new feature is transforming the way that teams are working, enabling faster approvals while maintaining the highest standards of quality and compliance throughout the process. So that's enough of me talking for now. I'm going to turn it over to Marcus so that we can take a look at MediaValet Proofing in action.
Right.
Okay, let me stop sharing my screen.
Okay, so let me just get my screen up here and we'll go into, let's turn that share on. Okay, everybody. So just checking everyone can see my screen okay. We should see the MediaValet dam. So fantastic. Thank you very much, Parker. So PageProof and MediaValet, as we said, have brought to us the MediaValet proofing. What I'm going to start by going through is inside MediaValet. So here I am in the new hot dam experience. So this is where the proofing feature is available for people to use. So in here you can see I've got some assets. And if I click into the asset, you'll see over on the right-hand side, there is a new tab here that says proofing. And with this tab, this is where you can see if a proof is already out in review. So this particular asset, for example, I can see there's an active proof already out and about, and we can see, you know, who the final approver is and who the reviewers are and all those sorts of things. So with the MediaValet proofing powered by PageProof, you can have multiple people reviewing your work all at the same time, and these people can leave feedback using the markup tools in the platform. And what I'm going to do is just go straight into the proofing tool, and let's take a look at what it is that you can do with these assets. So let me just click on the proof link here. That will open up the proofing experience, and then that'll allow us to put the feedback on the work. So we can click into the proof itself, and that will open up for us. And then we can use the tools on the left-hand side of the screen to place feedback on the proof in the center of the screen. And then when you're finished, you'll notice there's a finished button over in the corner where you can make your decision. So let me just quickly show you some of the markup features and some of the other features that are available in the proofing that goes above and beyond just basic annotation. So first things first, I'm going to click on the info icon here and just show you that you can have multiple people in your reviews. So you can create these stages and have multiple people, and this is all set up inside of MediaValet. So you can add the people in, and you can see you can have this progressive workflow flowing the work from team member to team member. So a really, really great way of getting your reviews in the right order. Now, to leave some feedback, you simply grab hold of the red pen tool. Here, you can use the basic red pen for just drawing over the top of things. So I'll replace this logo. I can say, hey, replace that. I can choose a file from my computer to attach into the comment if I want to. So you can return back anything that you need. So you can do that. You can zoom in, obviously, get closer to the action. So if I zoom in a bit closer here, I can grab the highlight pen. That enables me to highlight over the top of copy. When I release that, it puts that copy into the comment, and then I can make the suggested change directly inside of here and add that comment onto the work as well. Freehand drawing pen for those people who like to draw with a felt marker. We have that ability as well. So you can sort of say, hey, that needs to really just go over here, and maybe this guy needs to smile a little bit. So you can put comments in for that if you want to as well, and just add those onto the proof. Now, once you've gone through and left all your feedback, all you need to do is go to the finish button in the bottom of the screen here and choose your option. So in my case, I would say changes, please, and they would submit my decision back to the proof owner so they know what it is that I'd like them to do. So those are the basics of the platform in terms of putting markup. Now, there are some extra tools in here that are really, really useful for those that are reviewing. So a good example is you'll see this little widget over on the bottom side here, the measurement widget. When you click into that measurement widget, it shows you a bunch of metadata about this particular proof. So if you're doing any sort of brand checks, you can see the fonts that are being used inside this piece of work. So I can see, yes, those fonts are all valid. We haven't got Comic Sans showing up in here, so that's a good thing. It shows me, for example, this is a piece of print work, so it's showing me the color profile. I've got the number of colors, and I can even see the names of the linked files inside of here. So really great for doing your brand checks on your work as well. And there's a bunch of other things in here as well to stop you having to use other tools for checking things. If you're doing work, for instance, that has QR codes or barcodes or those sorts of things, you also, under the magic tools, we've got things like a barcode scanner. So you can just click onto the barcode scanner. It'll highlight for you exactly where it sees any barcodes or QR codes, and you can just click in and take a look at that. So here you are, just being able to comment on that particular QR code or open it in a new tab. So there's a whole range of different features and tools inside of here that you can get in and really dig into the detail of your proofing. So really, really powerful from that respect. Another option, looking at, for example, any sort of JPEGs or PNGs and TIFFs and any sort of media type that you might be putting into proofing, can be done inside of PageProof. So another good example here, this one is an asset which has content credentials on it. So this is a new feature we released into PageProof where it's going to show me that, hey, this piece of work, you can see the content credentials icon here. If I click into the measurement widget, it shows me this is a generated image and it's come from Adobe Firefly. So we detect the original, the place that this was originated in as well. So giving you that sort of information, which is useful for your proofing, really, really handy for your reviewers. And then lastly, I wanted to just quickly show you what happens when it comes to compare mode. So if you go through the versions, PageProof keeps a track of all the versions here. You can click on the compare icon and we will put the two side by side so you can do a side-by-side comparison of the two pieces of work. And you can also do any sort of modes to do with the proofing side of it as well. There we go, that's showing up for us. And you can see, okay, that is version 1 on the right side, version 2, I can do a side-by-side comparison, check the changes, or I can do a smart compare, and that will overlay the two and show me where the differences are with this. And there's also a slider tool here as well for those people that prefer to check changes with sliders. So comparison of versions and everything, all very, very easy to do. Now, one last thing, sending out an asset, how do you do it? All you do is click into the asset, go over to proofing, and you'll see create. Just click on create, and then all you need to do in here is complete the very simple form. So the final approver is going to be this person. I would like Marcus to check it. I'd also like maybe someone else to check it as well. So you can just simply add email addresses into here, write your message to the reviewer, then choose a deadline. So just very simply come in, choose the deadline, hit create, and that will make the proof for you and notify the reviewers they need to come in and leave feedback. So that is a little taster of MediaValet Proofing powered by PageProof.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Marcus. Okay, let me share my screen here again.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So we've got our next slide up here to talk a little bit about use cases.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are a couple of PageProof customers that use PageProof, and we have case studies available if you want to know more about it. So the Phoenix Suns and Mercury use PageProof for reviewing everything to do with their brand. So you'll see even inside the stadium in the games, the banners that go up for the advertising, everything inside that stadium is proofed through PageProof. All of the print material, the digital material, everything that they do all goes through PageProof for review. They can check the brand, they check it all in one place, And what's really great about it is that the training for anybody reviewing is zero. It's super simple for anyone to use. So that makes a huge difference when you just need to get feedback on the run with people, particularly with a brand like the Phoenix Suns and Mercury. And then the other example here is Nexus Brands Group. So Nexus Brands, they do a whole range, they've got a range of stores up and down the United States, and they use PageProof for getting feedback on all of their collateral as well. And they've cited that it has given them over the last 12 months a 40% reduction in effort from the team to actually get things reviewed. And if you want to know more about that, we do have case studies that with more detail from Nexus Brands on exactly how they achieved it. So some really good examples of how online proofing can help get things on brand and really make a difference.
Amazing. Thank you, Marcus. Wow, 40% production. Talk about proof in point there for streamlining your review process.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now just to cap us off here, I talked about those 4 challenges. We've looked at MediaValet proofing, but now I want to actually speak to those challenges again, but as benefits. So what are those key benefits that we're going to get from MediaValet proofing that's going to address those challenges? So the first one here is that you can simply review anything and everything. MediaValet Proofing allows users to review a diverse range of digital assets, and this includes documents, videos, images like we just looked at, Adobe Creative files, and even more, all within one single platform. The value here is that this flexibility ensures that all assets can be evaluated efficiently and in the same tool, reducing the time spent and the learning curve for any stakeholders. Our second benefit here is consolidated feedback. This is by having all your feedback centralized within the tool, you eliminate scattered comments across various mediums. So this is going to ensure clarity and alignment among stakeholders, and it reduces the risk of miscommunications or extra work being done, streamlining the approval process. The third of 4 benefits I'm going to talk about here is seamless collaboration. So you can not only can you invite internal team members to actually review and approve your assets, but you can also invite external collaborators to participate in the review process. And this is all effortless, and everyone is in the same tool. The value here is that this facilitates a consistent experience for all your stakeholders. It speeds up the review process. It ensures that diverse perspectives can be included in the feedback loop very easily. Okay, and then the last one that I'm going to share here is easy version comparison. I can't stress this enough. Users can easily compare the different versions of an asset side by side while they're reviewing, like we just looked at in Marcus's presentation. But also, all the approved versions of an asset are automatically saved into MediaValet as a new version after that proof is complete. This transparency during the review helps quickly identify changes. It makes the approval process more efficient and accurate, streamlined, as you might say. And then also automatically saving that approved version of the asset to MediaValet eliminates the need for manual version control, and it prevents user errors when choosing the approved version of an asset. All right. There's one last thing I want to share before we get to our Q&A. So we've looked at challenges in the review process. We've looked at MediaValet proofing and the benefits that it brings. And Marcus shared some lovely use cases. But I want to paint a little bit of a picture for you here and tell you a story about a customer using MediaValet and specifically MediaValet proofing to solve business problems. So I'm going to tell you a story now about a nonprofit business. And you can follow along with this graphic. It shows the flow that I'm about to share. A dedicated nonprofit managing multiple local chapters and a wide variety of stakeholders was determined to elevate their outreach and fundraising efforts. Their focus was to ensure consistency, accuracy, and impactful communication while making the most of their limited resources. To achieve this, they turned to MediaValet. Starting with Emma, the Director of Communications. Emma centralized all their digital assets, from marketing materials to donor communications and even event documents, creating a single accessible source of truth for everybody in MediaValet. The real transformation, however, came when Jacques, the marketing coordinator, utilized MediaValet Proofing for their review and approval workflow. For the nonprofit's next big fundraising campaign, Jacques put all the campaign materials through review in MediaValet Proofing. This included brochures, promotional videos, social media posts, email newsletters, raw branding assets, and more. Everything related to this campaign. And now Lucas, the head of fundraising, was a key reviewer to make sure that all the campaign materials accurately reflected the nonprofit's fundraising goals, while Joanna, the brand manager, was actually the final approver in this process. After Lucas and his team gave their stamp of approval for accuracy, Joanna gave final sign-off on these campaign assets after approving all the materials for brand consistency. Once the assets were approved, it all ended with Tatiana, the director of chapter operations. Tatiana was able to easily share the approved campaign materials with all the local chapters. Since only a fully approved asset makes its way to MediaValet as a new version, Tatiana no longer had to worry about dealing with outdated or inconsistent assets. Every chapter and key stakeholder received the most current and compliant content, ensuring a unified front in all outreach and fundraising efforts. Ultimately, by utilizing MediaValet Proofing, this nonprofit organization saw a significant transformation in their daily work. Operational efficiency skyrocketed, branding consistency was locked in, and a more coordinated approach to outreach and fundraising emerged. This integration didn't just streamline their processes, it empowered the nonprofit to advance its mission and make an even greater impact in the community that they serve. Okay, that ends our presentation for today. Thank you everyone for taking the time to join us and talk about MediaValet Proofing. We appreciate your time. And I believe now we have a little bit of time for Q&A. Let's take a look here. Okay, I'm gonna maybe just stop sharing my screen. Okay, so maybe we'll start with, okay, I see some questions popping in here. So the first question we have here is, so it doesn't cost extra for people you collaborate with, like for extra seats, or you can have casual commenters that are very controlled with what they see.
Yeah. So the answer to that one is absolutely. So you can have people coming in, they belong to that workflow that I showed, and they're able to leave feedback, and they're not seated in any way in terms of that they can come in, you just put their email address in, and they can leave feedback, and you can control whether they are a decision maker or just leaving casual feedback. So that is definitely the case.
And I'll just add from the MediaValet side, these users that are reviewers don't necessarily need to be users in MediaValet. So we talked about inviting external collaborators as well. So they can be users in MediaValet, certainly, but it's more flexible than that. If you have one-off reviewers or something like that, when we saw Marcus inviting those reviewers in MediaValet, that can be anybody. They just need an email address. Okay.
Shall I answer that one about the video? So Matt
Oh,
has
sure.
asked, yeah, Matt has asked, how does PageProof work with video? PageProof works brilliantly with video. So we've supported video for a very long time. You essentially upload your video, which you can come from MediaValet to have an asset, a video asset there, MP4, movie, AVI, whatever it is. Get that across into PageProof, the video plays. We have things like SEMPTY timecode and just minutes, seconds, very basic if you want it, or you can have the SEMPTY timecode showing. You use the review tool. You can draw over the top of the video frame write your comments, and do all the review as you normally would as you saw with the PDF, but exactly the same for video. One thing I'll just put on top of all this, PageProof itself has free to install Adobe plugins. So for Premiere Pro, After Effects, InDesign, Photoshop, and Illustrator, you can have the comments come into your design applications and mark them all off as completed in there. So video is all fully supported.
Yeah, and I'll just add on to that too that MediaValet is also integrated in these Adobe products. So there's very streamlined workflows in general when using MediaValet Proofing and MediaValet all within Adobe. Okay, we've got another one here. Can versions coexist, or can related assets be linked together? We have different regions. If they all localize an asset, can they link it to one another? So I can speak to this from the MediaValet side. So the short answer is yes. So in MediaValet, there's various different tools that we have for you to link assets together, be it in there if they're in the same category, if they're actually linked assets, that's a feature as well, or other metadata strategies that you could use. The short answer is that you can have them linked together. Those assets can have multiple versions. So if you do have localizations, there's definitely a way to organize all that in MediaValet.
I think from the proofing side, we're connecting to those assets in MediaValet, so we follow on as part of that. You have all of those from MediaValet, all the proofing will follow that through.
Awesome.
Steve's got a question here. Can the function be linked to other platforms such as Figma, Adobe, and other video approval platforms, or does it completely replace these platforms? Well, PageProof is kind of the superset of all of those platforms. So it does support Figma, it does do video, it does web pages, email templates, everything. So you can have your email templates all inside of MediaValet, for example, if you wanted to store them all there, and then you can have those go out via proofing. So we support everything from that perspective. So all of your assets are all supported. And the follow-on question here from Jim is, can you proof web pages, live pages? Yes, you can. Absolutely fully supported.
Awesome.
Now, there are a
I think we
couple of
got more
questions.
in chat, right?
I was just looking over there now.
Okay.
So if I look at the timestamp from Jay, is the metadata auto-generated, or would the designer creator need to add it manually? In MediaValet, the metadata is auto-generated, I believe. Parker, that's correct, yeah?
Yeah, both. Yeah, there is definitely features that auto-generate metadata, and you can add it manually if you want. But yes, definitely there's auto-generated.
Yeah. And on the PageProof side, that widget I popped up, the measurement widget, and it showed all the details about the fonts inside of the file and linked files and that sort of thing. That is auto-generated in PageProof. We disassemble the file, read all the contents, and then pull all the relevant information up for the reviewer to see.
Yeah, and actually one thing I'll add on there too is in MediaValet, if you do have embedded metadata in your assets, you can map that to metadata structures you've made. So let's say you make attributes in MediaValet, you can automatically map embedded metadata into those attributes as well. So you could create a pretty seamless experience in proofing and in MediaValet, the core experience as well. Okay. Is there a way to push the finished asset back after it's been proofed and approved? Yeah, so once an asset is approved through that proofing process, it automatically gets pushed back to MediaValet as a new version of that same asset. And so you'll see that new version. There will be a comment that specifies it was a new version because it was approved through a proofing process. And if for whatever reason you want to revert, you can always go back to a previous version at any point. Yeah, I think that's it. Cool. Well, thanks so much, everybody. Appreciate all the questions, all your engagement. We will be sending out the recording after this meeting, a link to a branded portal. So Thanks again and take care.
Thank you, everyone.